In today's Daily Dish, 2K Sports is rushing out a patch for NBA 2K15, my thoughts after a week with my career mode in NBA 2K15, evaluating the situation around NBA Live 15, and a preview of topics for the next Press Row Hangout and podcast. Earlier today, 2K Sports announced that a patch has been submitted to Sony and Microsoft for NBA 2K15. Though the company did not go into much detail on what to expect from the update, they did note that it will hopefully address issues with people being booted from MyPark mode. MyPark, one of the most anticipated features for the game, has struggled mightily since release. When the servers haven't been down, the mode has caused all sorts of problems for people, from getting stuck in got next spots, to invisible players on the court, to the game just outright crashing. Parts of MyPark, like the stage, which is exclusive to the PS4 right now, really hasn't worked, and the Jordan Rec Center has had similar problems to the standard park games. Typically, a patch wouldn't be deployed to fix server issues. That's something they can work on from their side, unless there's a bug or something of that sort that they have to address first through a patch. You're kind of seeing that with Sony's Drive Club right now, which is even a far bigger mess than 2K15. Server trouble has plagued NBA 2K15 since it released, affecting not just MyPark and even MyTeam, both of which haven't worked most of the time, but also modes like MyCareer and MyGM since they tie into the servers due to VC. There's also the online games which have crippling input lag. The patch should be out within the next week, and hopefully it will alleviate at least some of the problems people have been experiencing with NBA 2K15. MyCareer is the most popular mode in the NBA 2K series now, and given all the server issues in NBA 2K15, that's where the majority of my time has been spent since it released. Yesterday I posted an article to Pastapadre.com. You can find the link in the YouTube description and the Daily Dish posting on the site, detailing my impressions of the mode. Some of the good I mention include the addition of the practice gym, the revamping of spending on attributes now in buckets instead of individual categories, and things like film sessions and coach directives and approval. Aspects that didn't hit as well, in my opinion, include the extremely poor voice acting, being forced to play as someone who's generally an a-hole, aspects of the grading system, and teammate AI. Despite the issues, because of the world you get wrapped up in, MyCareer is still very compelling to me. There's a lot that 2K can do, though, to make it even better in the future. In yesterday's Daily Dish episode, I talked briefly about how little interest there is out there in NBA Live 15. It's not generating pre-orders, and EA doesn't seem concerned about proving the product is worthwhile. Instead, they continue to hide gameplay with just a matter of 8 days until it's playable through EA Access. The sales rankings on Amazon demonstrated just how irrelevant the game is as it nears release. It's even tracking behind years-old sports games. Today I posted an extended article on the topic on Pastapadre.com. I've dropped a link in the YouTube description and the Daily Dish posting on the site. EA has done nothing to project confidence in the product, nor have they really attempted to give consumers a reason to believe it'll be worth their $60. It's certainly been frustrating for me to follow, and for anyone that hopes for competitions in sports games. EA could only live off NBA Live 10 for so long. 5 years have passed, and all we've had to show for it were 2 canceled games, and an awful one that those who gave a chance walked away feeling as though they were ripped off. Sadly, we as consumers seem to care more about a viable competitor entering the market and succeeding than even EA does. We've got some interesting topics lined up for the next Press Row Hangout, which will air live on Friday night at about 11 Eastern Time, 8 Pacific, and next week's Press Row podcast. Those include our revised thoughts on the digital future, evaluating the current state and future of online leagues, and how being tied into online servers as always online games have affected various franchises. Feel free to email or tweet at me your thoughts on those topics as well as any suggestions for future topics or questions you'd like us to answer on the show. We may select it and feature it for a discussion. Thanks for listening and your support of the Daily Dish. Make sure to visit Pastapadre.com, which is updated with the latest sports gaming news and analysis every day. Follow me on Twitter at Pastapadre, and subscribe on YouTube. I'll be back tomorrow with the next Daily Dish.